Walking in the Eternal Now. It was Vernon Howard who said, real life is a timeless renewal in the present moment. I like that. I think so-called time and space, which are really one, are no more than mediums in which all things exist. Life is movement, ceaseless movement, and life itself is timeless and spaceless. Everything is contained within the now. All duration or time is total and complete in the now, the eternal now. Yes, there is an eternal quality about the now. It is forever new. The present moment has its unfolding in the now. The past, in the form of memories, inherited characteristics and tendencies, the karmic consequences of past actions, all that is no more than the expression of a present reality, being a present window link to the eternity of the now. It's the same as respects the future. Any ideas about the future, any hopes for the future, they are all present ideas and hopes. Yes, the present is simply that which presents itself before us in the now. So the present embraces the past, the immediate present, and the future. The Christian theologian Paul Tillich says as much in his wonderful little book, The Eternal Now. If you haven't read that book, please do so. The Eternal Now by Paul Tillich. In it, Tillich writes, quote, "The mystery of the future and the mystery of the past are united in the mystery of the present. Our time, the time we have, is the time in which we have presence. Each of the modes of time has its peculiar mystery. Each of them carries its peculiar anxiety. Each of them drives us to an ultimate question. There is one answer to these questions, the eternal. There is one power that surpasses the all-consuming power of time, the eternal." Unquote. Here are some other words that really resonate with me. They come from the divine science minister and author, Dr. Emmett Fox. He had this to say about the now, the eternal now. He wrote, "Has it ever occurred to you that the only time you ever have is the present moment? We have all heard this said many times, but probably few of us realize, even slightly, all that it implies. It means that you can only live in the present. It means that you can only act in the present. It means that you can only experience in the present. Above all, it means that the only thing you have to heal is the present thought. Get that right, and the whole picture will change into one of harmony and joy." When some students hear this statement, they may think, oh yes, I know that. I have known it for years. But the chances are that they have not yet understood it thoroughly. When they do, remarkable results will follow. All that you can know is your present thought, and all that you can experience is the outer expression of all the thoughts and beliefs that you are holding at the present time. Dr. Fox goes on to write, "What you call the past can only be your memory of the past. The seeming consequences of past events, be they good or bad, are still but the expression of your present state of mind, including, of course, the subconscious. What are all the future things that you may be planning or things that you may be dreading? All this is still but a present state of mind. This is the real meaning of the traditional phrase, the eternal now. Dr. Fox finishes with this: the only joy you can experience is the joy you experience now. A happy memory is a present joy. The only pain you can experience is the pain of the present moment. Sad memories are present pain. Get the present moment right. Realize peace, harmony, joy, goodwill in the present moment. By dwelling upon these things and claiming them and forgetting during the treatment all other things, the past and future problems alike will take care of themselves. And that is truly wonderful advice and very profound. Now, if you're listening to me now and hearing me, you are alive. Although, as Dr. Norman Vincent Peale used to say, it is necessarily the case that some people are more alive than others. Our aliveness, our very livingness, is in the now. We can never escape the now. So why not live fully and mindfully in it now, from one moment to the next? We do not truly live in the now when our minds are on other things. Unless we are mindfully present from one moment to the next, we are not truly alive. Our attention, which must be choiceless and non-discriminating, has to be right here, right in the here and now. In addition, if we are to find any meaning or purpose in life, we must find it in the eternity of the now. The now is omnipresence itself. No wonder the mystics and holy ones have referred to God as the eternal now, or the eternal presence. God eternally exists, subsists, and expresses itself in its own being, in the eternity of the now, in the beingness of all people, all things, in all things, and as all things. A man called Scott Shaw, a Zen master and teacher, has written, "Time is a scale we created in order to measure our worldly accomplishments." Now that's very Zen-like. Yes, time, as we ordinarily understand it, is a somewhat relative construct, but I still think it is real. The truth is, we live both in time and in eternity. Now, eternity is not something that we enter into when we die. No, eternity is something, for want of a better word, something we are in right now. Each one of us is part of life's self-expression, and life cannot other than be. Life cannot die. Your body will die, and I think also your mind, but the life in you, well, that's an entirely different matter. Stop identifying with your body and your mind and all the contents of your mind and all those little I's and me's, those false selves that our mind, through the thinking process, generates constantly, every second. All those things are not you. Stop identifying yourself with time. For the less you think about time and the less you concern yourself with time, the freer you will be. You can't see time, even if you watch the hands of a clock move. You are seeing just that, movement. You are not actually seeing time. The fact is that if you live entirely in time, you will be afraid of death. If, however, you live fully and mindfully in the abundance of the eternal now, you will know that you live forever. There's a huge difference. The disciple asked the master, "What is the path?" The Zen master replied, "Walk on. Walk on." Yes, the meaning of life lies in the living, in the walking of life, because life is endless movement. And so we must walk, metaphorically and otherwise, from one moment to the next. Any meaning or purpose we find must be found in the moment-to-moment experience of the now. Eternity is not the present time plus all the past and all the future added together, nor, as already mentioned, is it a post-mortem experience. It is a present, indeed an ever-present reality. In truth, there is no time after time after time, for eternity transcends time altogether. It exists despite time. The mystics and holy ones have known this for centuries. There is an eternal element to life which moves us beyond space-time to something which is the very ground of our being, indeed, being itself. No wonder Jesus exclaimed, as reported in John chapter 8, verse 58, "Before Abraham was, I am." He didn't say, "I was before Abraham was." No, he said, altering the order of the words, "I am before Abraham was." Get the point? He understood his essential and existential pre-existence. And I do not believe he was claiming that fact uniquely and exclusively for himself. No, he never did that with anything. That was not his way. He never asserted a fact about himself, a truth, which was not also applicable to you and me. Never forget that. Vernon Howard was right. The eternal now is that present, which is forever renewing itself in and as each new moment. This eternity supersedes time itself. To understand the eternity of the now, you need to know that there is a present in the present, as well as a present beyond the present. But if you try to chase the next present, you will fail. So don't even bother. There is no need. Now, this concept of the eternal now needs to be experienced as a present reality. Intellectual understanding can only take us so far. In a very real sense, the eternal now and the so-called temporal now are, as I've said, one and the same. Everything is here now. Life is forever eternal, and we are alive in eternity now. What life, call it God if you like, offers us is the eternal now, which is anything but a time on the clock. The esotericist H.P. Blavatsky, in the first volume of her Isis Unveiled, expressed it well, I think, when she wrote, "The human spirit, being of the divine, immortal spirit, appreciates neither past nor future, but sees all things as in the present." No wonder the New Testament in Hebrews chapter 3, verse 11 says, quote, "Exhort one another daily while it is called today," unquote. Yes, we live for so long as it is still today. God bless you all.